All right, today's video needs a little story time at the beginning to explain where we're at and how we got there. Mark's family has a cabin in Seldovia, Alaska. It is a beautiful little coastal town that is only accessible by small airplane or boat. So for our family of 6 to get down there, Mark flies down with 3 children and I drive with 1 kid, and then we meet in Homer. It's a 5-hour drive for me, a 1 hour and 45-minute airplane ride about for Mark to get there, and then we do a bunch of shuttling. Mark's family has done this process of, shuttling over and stuff for 40 years. After a 5-hour drive, Bennett and I got to the airport in Homer, Alaska. Now, this is not like a big giant airport. This is an airport that has one half that is like small airplanes and one half that gets a couple big planes every day. And so it's a very small operation, but there is a parking lot that Mark's family has parked at for like 40 years. So we just leave our van there and he flies us over to Seldovia and everything's good. Well, we get there and they had chosen to block off this parking lot. I think because people had been leaving cars there and they just would like forget about them and, never move their cars. Anyways, but they didn't offer a solution. There was nowhere for us to leave our car. And so we were asking the taxi services, like, where do people leave their cars? They're like, oh, down the road. So I decided to go investigate. I went down the road and the place that the man suggested said no overnight parking. I would have been towed. It would not have been there when I got back. I didn't really care that I had to walk, but it was just like, where do I park? So I'm problem solving because Mark is taking a load of gear over and I'm trying to figure out where in the world to park in Homer, Alaska. So finally I drove around to the other side of the airport from where the small planes are. I went around to the actual airport and went in to inquire about parking. So they did have parking that you could pay $5 a day up to 30 days. So I just filled out the paperwork, parked the car there, and then I had to walk back around because you couldn't walk across the airport. So I had to walk back around and I could see Mark, but he didn't have his phone because he left his phone with the kids. And I could see Mark wondering where I was, but I couldn't communicate with him. And then, you guys, you can't make this stuff up. And then I come head to head with a moose and it wouldn't move. And it kept like looking at me and putting its ears back. And I just was like, I could see Mark across the airport facing off with this moose, and eventually I figured out how I could go around this moose and made the mile-plus walk back to the small side of the airport on a road that has no shoulder, and there was like nowhere to walk. It was so unsafe. So we were a bit frustrated, and this thing that should have taken like 30-45 minutes to do this shuttling ended up taking about 2 hours because of all the drama. And we were so happy to be in Seldovia once we got there, and then the wind started. We are here for a couple of days and we are going to attempt to go tide pooling today. It is very windy, but we want to try and see what we can find on this really low tide, and we'll bring you along. The goal is to get an octopus and some clams to put in our dinner tonight. Other than that, we just want to see who can get the coolest thing as we're beach combing. Hunter, come stand.
The bad wind quality for this part of the video. It's really windy outside right now. Yeah. We're going for clams right now.
That one right there.
Yeah.
Watch out, Hunter.
Can we take a
Climbing rate.
I just take this like race thing and we dig it through and it pulls.
Well, that's small though. Let's leave that one.
Leave the sand and the little rocks, but it pulls back the clam.
This one right here, this looks like a good one. Watch that.
And we pull them up like this, and then this is about as big as they get.
What about this guy here?
Yeah, that's good. Oh, what about this? I want to get like a really, really good one.
Right here, what about these?
Oh yeah, look at these, Evan. They're so good. Got a bunch of good ones.
Where we're walking is all underwater at high tide. So it's pretty amazing to be able to walk and explore. It's usually quite a ways underwater. Cool, oh gosh, I got my hat. Oh. Cool, anemone. Tube worms. Alright. Send it to Bethany to grab it. What is it? Show me. It's on your hat. Well, it's alive. Why don't you put it back in? Wow.
Are there more?
Oh, I found a sand dollar. There's one. There's two. I found two. So where I'm standing is typically over 5 feet of water. So it would be over my head at high tide. What did you find?
There's a fish. It's under this seaweed here. It came up and a fish started under there. A lot of this, it's so low, there's a lot of this pink stuff. I think it's some kind of like coral sort of thing. Cold water coral. You see it coating the shell here, but over by the boat, now all the rocks are
After 20 minutes of persistence, Hunter caught this fish with his hands. Show me. Show me. What is it? Black water creature. Wow. Okay, go show Dad.
No way. This is so cool. I wanna... Yeah. This is some kind of like sponge. You gotta grab and made it.
Wait. So cool. I can just squishy to the touch.
It'll come out. Okay, here it goes.
One of the activities that we love doing at the cabin that's super easy and you can take camping or wherever you're going is making painted rocks and painted shells. So I'm going to show you some of the fun ones we came up with today. I got the idea of painting some gnomes and toadstools and it kind of evolved and there's a lot now. Here's a toadstool house with a little kitty cat and a mouse up in the window. There's another toadstool house, and then these are cute little gnomes and toadstools. My niece painted all of these fun rocks. And then we go and put them under trees, and sometimes we'll put them around town for people to find, and it's just kind of fun. I do have this Mod Podge acrylic sealer that we'll spray them with so they'll survive. But super simple and fun little project. We put together a little painting kit last year and we keep all the paints in there and all the paintbrushes. And it has provided hours of fun. These are some little fairy houses I painted out of shells the other day. We've got a little fairy apartment. They need to be sprayed, so I'm gonna take them over. Spray all of these. Cute. All right, I think this is about the cutest thing I've ever seen. Our little gnome village.
I got chain stuff.
Okay, we gotta spray it. So we wanna go lay it out on that.
That is so adorable.
All right, the village is complete with a dragon protecting it.
It's dragon. I made it
And
out
then
of
we have a little cute little bird's nest there.
What dragon nest? I made
we have
this
a
dragon. I
dragon.
just painted different shells, random things, and then I put them together and it looks like a dragon.
Flying and protecting the gnomes.
I think this swirl makes it look really cool.
I love it. The men have been working on finishing our bunkie house. We started this last summer. We've got lots of videos showing the progress on the bunkie. They just finished putting the insulation and the paneling on the inside, and it's looking so good. It's a bit messy because we have tools everywhere and because the Ekstrom family are staying in there right now, but I'm just gonna give you a quick sneak peek, and we'll give you a full tour later in the summer when it's cleaned out. So they built 2 bunk beds. There's a queen size bed upstairs. And they just finished putting in all the paneling. Mark put in some lights that are run by a solar panel on the roof. Solar panels right up there. And we can, upstairs there's a battery. It charges the battery. We can charge our cell phones up there, our computers, cameras, all that stuff. And then we have another one of those in the cabin. So awesome. Aunt Sarah has been building these awesome platforms and making it so they go through the trees and don't wrap around the trees and stunt their growth. So she's been doing an awesome job coming up with lots of different fun things. She also made this little zip line today and is working on this really cool spider web. And this is all made from ropes that we find washed up on the beach. We repurpose them, and then she and Mark have made them into really fun little obstacle course things. So that will be made back into something. We just took it down, but it'll be made into something new.
And fun.
And fun. Woo, good job, Hunter.
Ooh, nice.
And all these platforms and stuff have been made with leftover wood that's just left over from building the bunkie. We also installed a new swing this time. That's been really fun. Donut?
Yes. Thank you.
Donut?
Yes, sure. Donut, yummy.
Yummy, thanks. Okay. Jane, what did you say about donuts?
I said that if you make donuts, like homemade donuts, in this family, you never get enough.
No matter how many you make, you'd never have enough, huh? You can have 2 of those.
Okay.
Yummy! Take 2. Is that yummy? Hey, 2. You can have 2.
Just 2?
Yeah. Miss Phoebe, would you like a donut hole?
Yes.
You can have 2. Do you want a donut hole? 2? You're funny, Bennett. Donut holes, anyone?
Sure. Thank you.
You can have a couple.
Thank you, hun. We're getting the last 2 pieces cut for the
Donut hole!
We hope you enjoyed seeing a little bit of this trip to the Seldovia cabin. If you want to see the boys going fishing, make sure to check out their other channel, Alaska Boys, for all things fishing, flying, and hunting in Alaska. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.